Well, April deer chores, every month we're enjoying getting out in the woods and actually getting to warmer weather now. But deer hunting never stops for us, and so we get out, and there's always stuff to do. This is what we're doing, and if you kind of match it to what we're doing, I think a lot of times you'll get your chores done and completed in a timely manner. Normally I start at 1. I'm going to start down to number 6 because I'm most excited about this. I love fishing, and so we go fishing here on the Mississippi. Sometimes I take my own boat out, and then we go up to Canada. So we're starting to get the boat out, get that ready in April. And it's, if you own a boat, mine's a 2006 Lund, so it's an older one, kind of, got a good deal on it, and we love taking care of it. Dylan's used it. It's a nice boat. It's fun, and but it's always work, always taking care of it. So we're doing some maintenance in April, and we'll get that up to Canada in May, and we might get out on the river before then. We've been really fortunate. We like sponsoring a boat, and it's Vince. And I always get his last name wrong, but he's one of the top guides over here in the Mississippi. So we do a little fishing with Vince, but by sponsoring his boat, we get to go out. So we were taking parties to go out anyways. So we've gone perch fishing a couple times this year. Awesome time, some jumbos around 14 inches. And then we go walleye fishing during the summer. We've even gone bluegill fishing with him. So anyways, his details will be down below if you want to get a hold of him. But the real important thing, shed dog. I wanted a shed dog for years. Going back over 10 years, almost pulled the trigger about 13 years ago on a female that was started shed dog. The money was just prohibitive. I thought long and hard. It's pretty hard when you have this. It was a black British lab looking up at you, and those puppies, those puppy eyes. I just had a hard time saying no, but I did, which was the smartest thing then. Now we really want one. Our house dog, seven years old, and so we're going to pull the trigger. We're actually driving down this Thursday to pick her up down in Southeast Ohio. Really reputable, high-end kennel for shed hunting, and that's what they do. And I have a friend, Jason, who's his dog won everything, but he knows a lot of people north half of the country. So first person I contacted and only person was Jason, and he got me on track. So we can't wait to get her. I mean, we're getting her 3 days from now. So we can't wait to see her, meet her. Pictures, I'm sure, don't even do her justice. But I always love finding antlers. It's funny, Dylan can, pull back on this stuff right here, but we have about 20 antlers, 25 just laying on the table right here, let alone this pile right here. We have antlers for decoration. What we do on the bottom, this one has a little bit different story too, but you can see we just put the year right on the bottom. I'm sure a lot of people do something like that. This is Junior's shed, and my buddy Mike, close friend, Mike Pratt, found this on our property. We were all shed hunting together, and it was funny. We got back to the yard, and this was after a bunch of snow melted, and it's super high, like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. So this $10 bill was blowing around, and it blew by us so fast that Mike realized what it was. We were in the side-by-side, and he jumped out and ran after it. It was probably 50 yards away already. So we have no clue where it came from. So to any of our neighbors, thank you for the $10 bill. I think it blew a long ways. It was dry to get here. So Mike left that taped around the antler just for memory. So that's, love shed hunting. Dog will be a perfect fit, and we really thought long and hard. We're getting it's out of Ireland, Scotland breeding, but they're really meant for high energy out in the woods, and then family dog in the house. So can't wait for that. Let's get into some of the deer stuff. This is some of the exciting stuff. Fishing shed, and I'm not saying deer is not, but I do have other loves in life, and fishing is a big part of that. New tree stand installs. You can make a case when the ground is really frozen, when you're putting those ladder stands in, that you're going to get a better seating down on the ground with the legs. Like we use a family tradition. They have a couple posts that stick down on the ground. What we find is those posts are pretty easy to kick in at that time of year, even when we put some out in January. But boy, in April, it's not a bad time because you're typically before leaf out, especially early April here. And we can get those installed and then let the trees grow in around. But outside of growth, a lot of the lanes that you see in cut right now to where you want to shoot and the cover around you are going to be pretty reflective of what's going on in November too. So I like to get those out. And I can honestly say that about every month of the year we're putting tree stands out or moving them around. And this April's no exception. Trail cams on turkey mode. What I mean by that, a lot of our trail cameras are at stand locations on mock scrapes in front of the stand. That by far is the number one tactic for trail cameras that I could probably give you. Because I don't want to see where a deer's coming out into a field in the middle of the night. I want to see where he's at, where I'm hunting. That's all that matters. So we get pictures of a buck going by. Most of the time it's on a scrape. Most of the time it's on a water hole because they're right in front of stands. It's not the trail cameras that spook deer unless you put them at face level and they have that box. There's ways you can hide it. We always, not always, mostly put them 5-6 feet in the air, pointed down a little bit, tree bigger than the camera. If we can have another tree on the side, like a double tree, to hide the profile, that's great. We're using low glow or no glow cameras, the 3.0s or the 3.0 Pros, or either one, we like them. Doesn't really matter. We're using them pretty much the same. One has an LCD screen, one doesn't. And then there's a couple other features too, but we like them both. But bottom line is, we want them at stand locations. Big difference from when we're turkey hunting. We love seeing strutters this time of year. And so we have our clover points and clover areas that the turkeys love. We have 4 clovers, a bird's foot trefoil, alfalfa, and chicory in the mix. And that's what we sell, and that's what the turkeys love in the spring. So we'll even take an area that might be 4.5 acres of a giant plot, our biggest one, and we have about an 1/8 acre clover plot at the end. It's actually where Jen shot her turkey last year. So we get those cameras in those strutting areas because we frankly just want to see what strutters are in each area, and we move those cameras. So we really adjust those cameras during this time, but by end of May, June, they're right back in front of those tree stands. And so we think deer and hunting strategy 365. Summer trail cam photos are cool, but we know the bucks that are in each area, and most of the time they're living somewhere else during the summer. But when they come through, they get bumped off a summer property they're at. They make their annual rounds once a month or once every 2 weeks. We're going to get them right in front of those tree stands, and that confirms those tree stand locations. If we had cameras out in field edges, it's illegal to put them on minerals around here, but let's say we had them on minerals, you know, in a good state for that, or on summer food sources, movement in and out, then that doesn't really give us any intel or reinforcement of stand locations going in the hunting season. So by June, we're putting them back on those scrapes, back at stand locations, and when that buck does happen to show himself, whether he's moving in August, September, he'll be on those in front of those stand locations where we expect him. We already know he's alive. We already have our trail cameras running after the season. We find antlers too. That's Junior. He's our top 2 at least targets for this year. Coming up, he'll be 6.5. So we already know they're alive. We don't need we know what they'll look like. We'll figure that out in August, September. There's no rush. And if we happen to see them growing here and there during the summer, that's pretty cool too, but we're going to see them right in front of our stands. Mowing trees and briars and switchgrass. You know, it's pretty cool about planting switchgrass into a briar patch is that a briar patch is a monoculture, so it's been limiting what other weeds and growth are in that monoculture of briars for sometimes a decade or more. Go kill the briars, mow them off, hit them with 2,4-D 2 or 3 times, plant your switchgrass in there. For the first 2 or 3 years, you're pretty good, but eventually the briars come back. So we need to hit them with a woody growth, shrub, tree, briar. And Dylan, I think it's Garland?
Tardon and Garland.
Garland is one, I think it was Garland Ultra XD or something like that. But this will be our first year using that. We need to take some aspen out, and we need to take some briars. When you go through those areas right now, the aspen's probably, the shoots are 5-6 feet tall, briars are almost the same. So we'll go mow all that down, all the dead switchgrass, and even some of the new growth, so we can get that briar down and fresh cut open, and we'll be spraying for the first time with that. So we'll let you know how that adventure goes, but really important for us to take that out, and then we can let that switchgrass go. So this will be an early April thing to mid-April at the latest, not a May thing, because we really want to get that down. First 2,4-D and Gly spraying. So we have young switchgrass, new switchgrass, switchgrass we frost seeded. So on that frost seeded switchgrass, we have some frost seeded switchgrass. We'll be hitting it with the first 2,4-D and Gly spraying. It's 1 pint per acre of 2,4-D and 2 quarts per acre of Gly. We'll be hitting that sometime, I would guess, with spring green up, and the fact that most of our snow is gone right now. It's March 24th. I would suspect that we'll be spraying that first bit of green up by the 2nd to 3rd week of April, right around there. And then if we have areas that we're just starting out on new switch this year, that'll be the first spraying. Simazine will be first spraying. We're waiting as soon as, that'll be an end of March thing, because as soon as the snow and wet is out of the ground. Almost had a window, but I was on a client trip. I probably could have sprayed last Tuesday, and then we got a blizzard on Wednesday. So we got another 6-8 inches of wet snow. So I'm still several days at least away from spraying again, but I can't wait for the Simazine. So, because we're starting to get almost some green growth, so it's really pushing it. So that would be our first spraying on a new area. Then that second spraying would be the 240 and Gly and other areas that we took care of last fall. And we need to spray Simazine on still, but then this will be the last spraying, be the third spraying, meaning we would have taken care of it in the fall, 1 or 2 chemical controls, and then we're throwing the seed down, then Simazine, and then this one right here. So everything, either if it's on new switch, we're spraying it regardless with this spraying right here. Turkey pop-ups all installed, and so this is an exciting time. Dylan doesn't hunt out of a pop-up very often. For us, with Lily and Jackson, to be able to go sit in with the kids, or like my son-in-law Joey's out, we had a really cool time last year where he shot his in like 40 minutes out of a pop-up, and then we both shot one in a ghillie blind. I shot mine with Joey sitting right next to me, and I was sitting in a pop-up this year when Joe shot his buck, and I don't know, it's kind of a social thing where Jen and I can sit in there together. If the kids are at daycare, we can go sit in a pop-up. So what we like is we always end up, like last year, Joey and I made a mad scramble all the way around the property. We went to a spot where we've sat under an apple tree and shot, I think, 3 or 4 birds throughout the year, but we happened to have a ghillie blind there, so we just went in the ghillie blind. But we had to do the mad dash, we had to crawl. My phone fell in my pocket, so I had to crawl back, or my striker had to go get it, come back. Just one of those things, and then it worked out. About 15 minutes later, we called the birds we were after. But that's part of it. I love the running and gunning aspect, but a lot of times you start out in a pop-up. And so those pop-ups are specifically located at those little clover strutting areas. And there's one that Joe was by last year, and he was in the blind. He was kind of pinned in the blind. He had multiple birds around him. And I tried sneaking in off to the side. I got an opportunity, but I messed up. But bottom line is, those two other strutters were right in front of Joe, and they would not leave that clover area. They kept going back and forth, back and forth. It's in a hidden area off in the corner of the big food plot, 2.5 acre plot in that one. And it seems like a lot of times they'll hang out in those little corners where it's fairly open, but then they like that food source, I believe, too. So regardless, we get those pop-ups up. We have 4 or 5 here. We'll have 1 in Wisconsin, 2 in Wisconsin. And then we'll hit the turkey season. I love turkey hunting. I've had my my glass call. Tony Myers calls. He's from around here. He's got some really nice glass calls. So I've been playing with this a little bit, but you know, just a nice little soft yelp. And I found, because I suck at calling, right, Dylan? Then
I wouldn't say that.
Dylan just laughs. So, anyways, I've called in actually a lot of birds for myself and other people, but I do it by only doing about that. I really stay soft. I purr a little bit and just a yelp, yelp, yelp at that cadence. And I've learned the more I call, the more they realize what I'm not or what I am, either way. So if I shut up and let them come to me, then that's the best I can do. Where someone like Dylan, my buddy Colin, he's just a turkey hunting nut like Dylan. And those two can call birds in and like coax them in. I'm not really coaxing them in. I'm just calling and saying, here I am over here. If they choose to come, great. But if they don't, there's probably not a good chance I'm going to talk them into it. Where Dylan, you can talk them into it.
I like working them. It's fun that way.
Yeah. And it'd be fun for me too. I'm not that good at it. So, but anyways, I practice. I dabble. But we can't wait for that time of year. And that gets, again, back to the fishing and shed dog, which you can imagine how excited. We have a little dog called Rebel. He's part Shih Tzu and Bashan. They call him a teddy bear. He's hypoallergenic. He's a family dog. He's 15, 16 pounds. He thinks he's a shed hunter. He will even, you can say, hunt him up. He doesn't know if he's hunting an antler, a squirrel, whatever. He just hunts him up. He puts his nose to the ground. He can't find a pretzel from 6 inches. So his nose stinks. He can't smell very well at all. He'll run over sheds. He ran over berry sheds in the past. We had really nice sheds. They're somewhere around here. But he literally jumped over it. And he doesn't know it's there. He'll walk Ryan Unger, one of Dylan's longtime good buddies. And we love Ryan. He was out here. He walked 8 miles with Rebel. Rebel, he might range out 30, 40 yards. Of course, he's not going to shed hunt. He just companion dog. He hunts. He'll actively be searching in the woods. He knows nothing about what he's searching for, but he'll run the whole time. We want an actual shed dog. And so excited about that. Excited to get out and do some more fishing. We were out during the winter time. I love ice fishing. We actually have a pop-up. We were up in northern Minnesota this year, family fishing trip, and got on the ice 3 days. And then we were on the ice around here. I have some secret spots for crappies around here. Love going for crappies and like that light bite and working them. It's fun. But either way, a lot to do in April and a lot of exciting kind of non-deer stuff, but it's all related in the end. So hopefully you're getting a lot of work done this month in April, and you're on track for a great fall. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. I really want to remind you about our food plot seed company, Pure Wildlife Blends. I even have clients that don't realize we have our company. But the food plot seed blends are flying off the shelves, and that's a great thing, and that always happens this time of year. I encourage you to check out everything. Again, purewildlifeblends.com, links in the description. But at the same time, we always carry inventory. So if you are the type that puts it off to the last minute, order it in July, we'll have it. But in the meantime, check out purewildlifeblends.com. We have a lot of different seed blends, pollinator blends, wildlife blends, switchgrass, everything that you need to plant great food plots and great wildlife plantings this season.